Secrets of America's First Lady. You certainly didn't know this about Melania Trump. What are we going to talk about? How does the First Lady choose her incredible outfits? What kind of person is she? Is she welcoming and friendly, or is it the other way around? Is it true that she lives separately from Donald Trump? What is her relationship with Ivanka Trump, and does she influence her husband's decisions? You've definitely seen the inauguration of US President Donald Trump, who of course came there with his wife Melania. There are a lot of conflicting opinions about her, including the fact that she doesn't like being First Lady at all. There is a book called Free Melania, the unauthorized biography. Its author, CNN reporter Kate Bennett, reveals some of Melania and Trump's secrets. The First Lady is called to Karen Pence. Karen Pence is the wife of Vice President Michael Pence. In an interview with ABC, Melania bluntly said that there are people in the White House who are not to be trusted. She didn't mention specific names, but presidential staffers have long noticed that the First Lady has a conflict with Karen Pence. In the book, Bennett describes how Melania and Pence flew together to Texas to support people who were affected by a powerful hurricane. On the plane, women didn't even sit next to each other. Melania flew in a private cabin and Pence in the main part. And when they got off the plane to greet the people of Texas, many noticed that Melania was much taller than Pence. Melania usually wears low-heeled shoes to look good around other people. As a former model, she does have a noticeably above-average height. However, at that moment, the woman stepped away from her role to mess with her shorter neighbor. Melania is incredibly meticulous in her choice of outfits. In 2018, Melania visited a center where illegal immigrant children lived. Everything would be great if it weren't for the writing on the windbreaker she showed up in. On her back it said, "I really don't care. Do you?" That's when many people started criticizing Trump and interpreted the inscription as the First Lady's real attitude about what was going on. Donald Trump supported his wife in every way possible, but the president himself has a mixed reputation. For example, he once said that he has the right to touch women in various intimate places. Of course, this statement outraged people, and the next day, Melania came out wearing a bright pink shirt that is playfully named a pussy bow. Many interpreted it as a sign of support to her husband. Kate Bennett thinks all of Melania's outfits are always carefully thought out. If her jacket has a defiant inscription, there is a reason for it. However, the journalist believes that this message was not addressed to the children of immigrants, but to Ivanka Trump, who seeks to become a negotiator for the president's administration. Also, Bennett notes that you can easily understand when Melania has a grudge against her husband. The thing is, Donald prefers Melania to wear feminine outfits, so any appearance she makes in a men's costume is highly symbolic. For example, she appeared in public in a suit when she found out that her husband had cheated on her with a porn actress. But in fact, Melania is an affable and friendly person. There are a lot of memes on the internet about Melania's stern facial expression. People think she's surly, cold, and too aloof. But actually, the First Lady is friendly, attentive, and a pleasure to talk to. Pretty much everyone who's worked with her say this in union. Melania lives in a separate apartment. Once people found out about Melania and Donald relaxing in separate rooms and having separate bedrooms, a lot of people decided they didn't want to spend time together. Actually, living in different parts of the White House is perfectly fine. Michelle Obama and her mom, for example, lived in a luxury suite on the 3rd floor, while Barack was on the 2nd floor in a large bedroom and living room. Melania has a difficult relationship with Ivanka Trump. Donald has 4 children from previous marriages, including daughter Ivanka Trump. According to Kate Bennett, Melania and Ivanka treat each other with no warmth. They both have their own roles in the White House, so they compete with each other in one way or another. You can't say Melania is in constant contact with Donald's other children either, but she's always there if they need help. Melania influences her husband's decision in many ways. Even though the First Lady prefers to stay in the shadows, according to Bennett, she has a lot of influence over Donald and the entire administration. It definitely took her a while to accept her new status, but as time passed, she settled in and became much more confident in her decisions and opinions.